All right, what's up, everybody? Steven here, the Horror Freak 85, here with Echo, and tonight's returning, I believe, fourth time. I'm not really sure, lost count, but Steve Rimpici.
I go when I type in Horror Freak 85, and I type his name in, and it shows 3 other times. It's like, oh, this must be number 4.
All right, yeah. Fourth time's a charm then. So that's I'll get it right eventually.
So for our millions of viewers, they requested you back. So
I appreciate that. If I had a nickel for every fan who bugged me, I'd owe people money. So that's
I think the only other person holding the record is Tim Hatch. She's like 12th. I don't even know. I lost count. He just comes on whenever. It's like comes on for Shark Week, Mark Pelodium, viewings, whatever. Just whatever he feels like doing. So
that's great. That's great.
But it's fun though. So what's been new with you? Anything since Carousel 3 or?
Well, actually, not a ton. Actually, I've been doing a couple of audiobooks for Audible, where I do when they need somebody to come in and do a lot of background voices. I usually come in and they need a possessed dog or they need something else or whatever it may be for the case. Exactly. So I'll come in and run through a few things with them, and those are always fun to do. But filming wise, no, you've been a lot busier than me. Hi, Mom. So you've been a lot busier than I have. So I hear you've been, in a couple of different movies now, and just really, I'd say kicking
ass. Grinding it.
I understand it's the other way. So it's but that's great.
I guess you should be interviewing me now, huh? I mean, what's up?
Well, if we're going to go by star power, then absolutely. So
I guess so.
He even got his first live reaction last night. I was on a live stream. I told him about the clip from Axe Grinder 7. So I'm like, send the link. And so they did a live reaction. What'd you think about that? You watched it yet, Steven?
Yeah, I watched it. So they thought it was good, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's a good actor." And so they enjoyed. They're like, "Oh, right the ball." They were laughing. Wes didn't even realize it was me at first, and then he's like, "Oh, I didn't know Steven was in this."
Because the reason why we were telling him about that is because there's a running joke with him about people wanting to castrate him. And so we're like, because it's just a running joke. No one's going to really do it. It's just like, hey, dick ripping. So we're like, we got to send this to him.
Yeah.
So is this, Steven, in your personal life, or this is on the film side that you're talking about all these things?
Both. But yeah, we don't talk about that though. Just like we don't talk about Bruno, we don't talk about.
Sorry. Mom's in the audience. We shouldn't talk about these things. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, here we are talking about getting axed. Well, she's seen the clip, so she knows.
Now, do I need to see Axe Grinder 1 through 6 in order to understand the plot of 7? That's the question. So.
Not really. It's just Freddie Palmer. He's back killing. That's all it is. I think even in the trailer, they're like, do you know who's in there? That's Freddie Palmer. His parents got killed by clown face killers, and then they commanded him to kill. So
yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the first. The first movie, they pretty much give the whole thing away within 5 minutes. Sees his parents killed. They walk up to him, hand him a mask. Oh, now you get to do it, kid.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so it's kind of like Princess Bride with the Dread Pirate Scott. So that's just with more blood. So, but that's fine.
So. A lot more blood. Yes.
Sure, so. Very good.
I believe it is called Axe Grinder New Blood. So.
Well, there you go then. Okay, that's good. So. And how are you enjoying all that? So are you happy you're being the host of a hit show like this with your millions of viewers, or do you prefer being the screen ingenue who is new on the scene?
I don't know. Both of them's fun. I got my paparazzi following me around, my fans on here.
Yeah.
I can't even go. I can't even go out to work to Walmart anymore. Everybody's stopping me.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. That's
but he's gonna get it once these movies start coming out, because a number of people are gonna be like, we're already sitting there like, we're gonna roast him. We're getting all the jokes already.
So if we were in Idiocracy, you'd be the guy in Ow My Balls. That would be your part in all of this. So.
Well, Camp Blood 9 comes out next month. It's going distributors, so that'll be the first one out. And then hopefully the stalking is going to be a Wild Eye, so I don't know whenever Rob
Good for you.
So, and then
that's great.
Yep. So they're mostly Sterling Entertainment. Will Colazzo, Julianne Prescott. She wrote and directed Cheerleader Elimination. This is her first directorial debut. So she did a good job on that. And
Very good.
so,
That's terrific. That's great. So your IMDb credits are just you're racking them up, which is terrific.
I got about 5 now. Yeah. So, and once these movies come out, I can actually put like a reel together and stuff. So
that's great. That's
so
absolutely
close. So close.
You're getting there. You're getting there. That's it. Rome wasn't built in a day. It'll all be good. Don't you worry. So.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about it. Even Will was saying, he's like, dude, when these movies come out, other directors will want you because you're good. So I'm like, all right. So that's a compliment right there.
That's a very good compliment. If you're getting compliments from the director and they're saying they'll do that, absolutely. Then and follow up with folks. That's that. Not to get too serious all of a sudden, but one of the things I have always found with and forgive me, with younger actors is that people forget that show business is a business. And so one of the things you need to make sure is that you're keeping in contact. You're getting your name out there. You're saying, hey, it's even if it's somebody you want to work with in the future. I just watched your latest movie. I thought it was terrific. You can see me in these, and anything I can do to be a part of your universe is. There's nothing wrong with doing stuff like that. So that's all great. But good for you. That's great.
Yep. I'm hoping, haven't heard back yet, but I'm hoping to maybe have a part in Death Woods and Demon Squad 2. So we'll see.
Very good. Very, very good. That's terrific. Hey, it's and you will get recognized. That's people are going to say that you got shot right in the balls, didn't you?
Yeah, and then they'll be saying something else when they see Camp Blood 9 too. So, yeah.
That's terrific. And Echo, we haven't met before, so tell me about yourself. Did you have a fun childhood? Are you a happy person?
No, I'm just a guy from Central Washington who likes, I would say, horror movies, but my forte is bad movies. I don't do, if it's a good movie, I'm sorry, I can't watch it if it's a good movie. I think it's a law. I think Congress and everything, the U.S. government and UN, everybody voted. It's a law. I can't do good movies. I have to suffer so that I suffer so none of you don't have to.
So you've watched Madam Web, what, 4 times, 5 times, something like that?
Well, here's the thing. I do bad movies, not bad movies.
I actually watched that last night, and I'm like, okay.
I was just happy enough to see what's her name on Saturday Night Live. That was, I got twice as much as I was expecting from that, so I was good with that. But I don't need to watch Madam Web.
I think the thing with me is that we've had so many superhero movies over the last 10 plus years.
Yeah.
That I've reached the point I'm just like, they go another. It's like, another hero movie. Oh, please just stop.
The problem with all of these things is just they're lousy stories. They don't try. Everybody is a self-insert of something. It just none of it really fits or makes sense anymore. And whether it's stripping down the existing IPs, like they did with Star Wars and with Indiana Jones and Star Trek and Doctor Who and all of these things. It's just it's become. It's sad, but you know what? The pendulum always swings back the other way, and so eventually, what'll happen is Hollywood will get tired of losing this much money, and somebody will say, you know what? Let's make Godzilla -1 for $20 million and see what happens, or let's really cater to our audience and make Barbie and make $1 billion. And so it's sooner or later things will come back. And at that point, Steven's going to have 150 IMDb credits. And so, he's going to be right up there with Keanu Reeves. So.
I find it so fascinating.
I'll be in the good superhero movie.
Whatever.
Green Lantern 2.
Oh, God, you can do one of the ones from Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
They do love those.
Maybe I'll join Deadpool. I think me and him would make a good team.
That's it.
They released the trailer for that one that it's like pumpkin head or whatever. Like this guy's like got a flaming pumpkin for a head, and he's got metal claws. It's like he rides a bike. He's got a flaming head, and it's like they aren't even hiding it now. They're just like right there.
That's when you're in the toy aisle as a kid and you find all of these Chinese knockoffs of, web producing man, as with a Spider-Man-esque kind of a thing, or he's got a Batman logo on his chest, and it's somebody else. Yeah, it just sounds like a cheap way to slap some things together. But yeah,
Hey,
that's unfortunately the state of.
The best superhero thing out there came from, I think it was India. They did like this whole thing that Superman was married to Spider-Woman, and they're fighting bad guys, and they have to stop and do a musical number. It's like, I can get behind that.
That's well, if you want to, RRR, which came out a couple of years ago, it was quasi superhero movie, and that was really good. If you have not seen that film, for the 4,232 who are listening to us right now, excellent film. It was an Indian film that crossed over here into the States, did very well. But yeah, it was all this over the top action film stuff, and then they would break out into a big Bollywood number right in the middle of it all.
Oh yeah.
Because the way you defeat your enemy, of course, is with a dance off, because why not? So
Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a dance off.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Hey, they did a version of Rambo, and I want to see it because I just want to see that music number. I just know it's going to be something.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, look, there's some really creative stuff that comes out from overseas. It just depends on whether you've got the stomach for it, depending upon where. Oh God, yes. So
okay, we have another YouTuber named May Ann, and me and another guy, Mr. Bones, were known for torturing her for making her watch some of these movies that if you ain't got a strong stomach, they got really no storyline. They're just like, how can we do a graphic over the top kill? Well, we're gonna have someone get tased and have the eyes pop out or the head get bashed in. Yeah. No, she right now. I don't think she wants to talk to us. She reached that point of like, I hate you two guys.
Yeah. So, did she watch Terrifier yet, or Echo? Did you get her to watch Terrifier yet? Terrifier
2? I don't know. I just know that Best Buy. I got to be careful going in there because I might have talked someone who works there into seeing it. So now I'm afraid if I go to the register, she'll be like, I remember you. Oh, I'm going to add all this tax on. It's going to walk in there all tiptoe, be like, please don't be here.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see the third one. They've been talking about filming it, and they did a mall scene. I'm like, oh, it's going to be awesome. Him as the Santa. Art of Claus, I guess.
Look, I think the lower budget in the independent films, that's where all of the intelligence is right now, because it's not run by committee. It's somebody who's got, even if it's a silly premise or whatever, not the serious stuff like we did with Carousel, but if it as long as there's love behind it and you want to do it, and if it's you and a group of your friends or you've hired a bunch of people, that's great. That comes through, and you don't need a $200 million budget to make a really good film, and that's why I like this. Yeah,
and the more fun, like what was a couple of years ago, they had one called Death to Metal. It was one from Wild Eye.
Yeah,
and basically the priest who hates metal gets disfigured and starts killing heavy metal people. And a couple of years ago, you couldn't get me to shut up about this movie. Be like, oh, how's the weather? Oh, it's really good. Did you see Death to Metal? And
That's great.
But the fun, the Carousel movies were fun. I had a good time watching them.
I'm glad you did.
More than watching some of these big, movies and all. Just more fun.
I don't get a lot of the stuff that's out nowadays because of all that. Nobody looks like they're enjoying themselves when they're filming. It's a slog. It's this. They're retreading things. The writing is usually is not good, and so I can't enjoy most of the stuff that comes out nowadays on for the big movies. But for the independent stuff, that's all great. That's all great. And even if it's not my style, that's okay. It's good on everybody.
Yeah, I heard, I don't know when it's supposed to be, but I guess supposedly Tubi isn't going to have as much independent stuff on there or something, or they're putting more mainstream stuff on eventually, or I don't know. But
I know. Well, they changed their logo, which means
is stupid. I hate their.
Everybody's going on. Everyone's going on about the new logo, the new background colors. Like, when I went to log into the site, I'm stood there, look at the site like, did I go to the right site?
I know that's when it first did that. I'm like, wait, where am I? What is this?
I think that yes, you're going to have more moderation with Tubi, let's say, but there's a lot more of them that have come out, and there's more of these free services that keep coming out all the time. And so you'll find a niche, and there'll be things like Shudder and other things which will have good horror streaming services for free as well. That'll keep coming out. There's a need for all of that stuff, and as long as you don't mind watching ads, then okay, then sure, all right, go ahead and do it.
Just as long as they don't get heavy in the ads, because sometimes I've got this on Tubi where I get like 3 ads back to back, and it's just like everyone's like, "Oh, I only got 1 ad." You're just like, "I got 3. I'm still in the middle of the second one."
Yeah, and it's and the biggest problem I have with that is because it's not like a TV show where there's a natural stopping point for an ad at the end of a scene. They'll cut it right in the middle of a line. And then go straight to the ad and then pick right back up where it is. So that kind of breaking the action, but that's why they want you to spend $5 a month or $10 a month on their pay services, so you don't have to deal with that.
That's almost as bad as watching old TV shows where they go, the murderer is.
That's
you're like, why Cheerios? I wanted to know.
See you next week. You bastard! How dare you?
I don't think cliffhangers are going to go away, but but some of that stuff is it's just, I don't know what the hell they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on some of these things, but who knows? I'll get on a soapbox and talk about laundering money and all kinds of things. We don't need to do that.
It could be. But yeah, it's like a lot of new stuff though. It's hard to get original ideas. There's a lot of remakes or reboots, and it's just like, okay.
Well, look, if you're a producer, your job is to try to keep things as low risk as you can. But producers, most of the time, are not creatives. So you could say, well, this movie made a lot of money, so we should make a whole bunch of sequels on it, because now it has to. I mean, look at Captain Marvel. Well, it made $1 billion. That means, she can run the whole franchise. We should now make, Captain Marvel 2 and then the Marvels. And then you start realizing, well, though it was sandwiched between 2 of the largest movies, ending a 15-year cycle on this thing, and, got good placement. But, this is what happens. Then it all just, forgive me, Mom, it all just turns to shit. So,
well,
anyway.
You also get something like, Blood and Honey, that Winnie the Pooh one.
I was going to say the first one.
But now we're getting all these other ones that are, in the public domain. We got Bambi, Pinocchio. I just watched the Alice in Wonderland one. Oh, God. It's so slow. And the lighting's bad. It's like they're not even trying. And that's a pet peeve of mine, is when you watch something and you see this could do it. This could be something great, and then you see, oh, they're not even trying. They're not delivering, and that just bothers me. This is like, on the back, they show you everything looks so nice, and then you watch the movie. Damn, they Photoshop those photos and make it look like it's got good lighting, because you can't see anything.
I mean, I spoke to Steve Rudzinski on stuff. So when Mickey Mouse entered the public domain with the Steamboat Willie version of that, he was kicking himself not having a movie ready to release that day with a Steamboat Willie character in it, Blood and Honey-esque kind of a thing. So I think if you've got the right brain, and you could put passion behind it, and you could do things. You can make movies, and you can make them. Again, the fun has to be there. So
but take in mind, Betty Boop in a few years or so. Public domain. So, God, what would it give with Betty Boop?
There's plenty of those movies on something called Porn. Oh wait, no, that's not it. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button by mistake. I apologize. I don't know how that.
Betty getting booped. What is this?
But they spent 6 figures or something like that to make that Winnie the Pooh one, and they made how many millions of dollars?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have these people going, wow, look what they did. What else is in public domain that can, we can spend a low sum of money on and maybe, make a load of money on.
Yeah, the second one actually looks a lot better. The first one, it made so much money, even though it looked like crap, but people went to go see it. But I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the second one. They got like prosthetics on Tiger Talks. It looks so much better. Like they're
oh, that's good.
And like he even has a flaming chainsaw at one point. And it's like, dang.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we made, you know, a few $1 million off this movie over here. We can spend a little bit of money over here to make this sequel.
Yeah, a better sequel for sure.
Well, look, I applaud everybody who actually finishes something.
Well, that's true.
I don't care, you know, how it turns out. If you put your money behind it, or you got investors, and you actually got it through, and you were able to finish the film, edit it, get it put up someplace.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment in itself, even if it doesn't. And if, you know, not everybody has the same appreciation for, you know, Attack of the Killer Donuts, well, that's okay. Then, you know what? It's, you know, that's not everybody's bag, and that's okay.
Killer Donuts was hilarious. That was
hey, the greatest killer food movie of all time will always be Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Well, yeah, if you're good, you got to go to the classics. Actually, yes, you have to.
However, it also has one of the most evil theme songs that can get stuck in your head.
Yes, thank you for reminding us.
Somebody, like, because the old DuckTales theme song, someone basically dissected the song saying, you know, this is how you can write a good song that gets in someone's head. And I think they borrowed that, you know, years earlier, decades earlier, they would do the same thing with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. They're like, you gotta write the right lyrics, the right beats, the rhythm, the timing, and do it just right, and it will be in your head. Thank you very much, the guy who wrote DuckTales' theme song, because I can't hear that movie without that song without singing it, because it's just like, oh god.
And then Darkwing Duck. I'm like, oh my gosh. I think they were playing. What was on TikTok? Someone's like going through all like the 80s and 90s theme songs, and they had like the Rescue Rangers and Gummy Bears and like all those shows and stuff. Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, they have this challenge they do. Basically, the songs from the 80s. If you know, they try not to dance a sing along challenge, and you see these guys just like. They start playing like, oh god! I don't think everyone's ever beat the challenge because they end up singing along or just like, you know.
That's funny. That's very, very funny. Yeah, I was always wondering, because again, I'm older than you guys. So when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first version of the cartoon, came out in the '80s, I heard about it, that it was going to come out, and the one thing I could not figure out is how do you put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into a theme song? How do you put that the words? And all you do is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and just repeat it over and over again. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that works. So that makes sense. So,
oh,
Turtles in a half shell.
I remember that cartoon because I was a little kid back then, and I remember that cartoon. I remember the toy line. Everybody had, all the kids had everything. And then later on, I got to learn about the original Turtles. And I've told some people about it, like, they weren't dark, they weren't violent.
Yeah,
they got their hands chopped off.
The original cartoons, that was some intense stuff that he had written.
Yeah, it was like all black. They did appear. The original Turtles from the comics did appear in a cartoon because they did like this big crossover with the '80s Turtles and one of the 2000 something ones. And they're like, we gotta go. And Shredder's like, we gotta kill the original, the Prime Turtles, and they go to that universe, and there they are. And you got the original Shredder and everybody, all the original ones there. It's like, oh, that was awesome. That's the other acknowledging them has the Prime universe, the Prime Turtles.
That's good. That's I a lot of that stuff gets a little too over the top. Sometimes they do it right, like you know, Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go was actually I was watching that believe it or not with my grandkids, and that was I actually enjoyed the movie. It was very well done. So
they were building up to that though, through that cartoon, because they had done a special for the Teen Titans Go, and at the end, you like credits, you hear the voices of the the original cartoon from like they're like, we need help, we're coming to come back, because everybody wanted them.
They did a good job with all of that, and I again, Teen Titans Go is very tongue in cheek and comedic. So it's all about having fun. I'm not into the big dark brooding stuff as much, but But yeah, because I like laughing. So we get enough of the dark brooding stuff outside of watching, or escapism stuff. So, but yeah, that's terrific though. That's all good.
So,
Cartoon Network used to put some very good stuff out. I haven't watched it in a long
Yeah.
time, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and some of the Adult Swim was just really out there stuff. Just crazy types of things, and you wonder what's going on in these people's heads. Whatever there was a jail show. I can't remember the name of the jail show now, but it just was very, very surreal and bloody.
Jail
And
show?
it was
was that Oz or whatever? Was it Oz?
It was. No. It was a cartoon that was in Adult Swim. It was like, but it
was a cartoon.
Something jail, something, and I can't remember what it is now. But it was a very weird show, especially when you're watching it at 1 or 2 in the morning. So, but good. Oh, all right. That's so. Mom met one of the turtles at a department store. Okay, was that in the pet shop or was that a Ninja Turtle? So,
no, I actually did though. The guy who was in the Donatello suit, I met him. He was at this karate championship tournament that I went to, and I also met the Surf Ninjas. Ernie Reyes Jr. and Senior were there. Chuck Norris was there. Trying to think who else was. What's his name? He was in a movie with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. Was it Bill Wallace or Bill I can't think of his name. It's either Bill Wallace or Bill Walton or something like that. He was also a martial artist. He was in the movie with them. I have to look him up, but he was in a movie with Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. Yeah, I think that's all who was there that I met. So, but
that's good. I did voiceover training with Rob Paulson, who was the voice of 2 different Ninja Turtles. He was in the original series in the 80s, I think, as Michelangelo, and then in about one of the last iterations, maybe now 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I think he was Donatello or had them reversed or something like that. But
he did a bunch of Animaniac stuff, and
he was Wacko. He was Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. He started back. He was the red bearded guy from G.I. Joe, Snowpiercer or something like that. And he did hundreds and hundreds of cartoons. And still does.
Yeah.
He still does a ton of stuff.
So.
Yeah.
They got, I think it was the guy who voiced Cobra Commander in the 80s cartoon. He also voiced Starscream. I guess he had passed away, and I guess someone got his daughter to start going to some of these conventions. It's like, she was like, hey, represent your dad. And he's got great. This. By the way, he's always going to be my Starscream and Cobra Commander because he's just that high pitched voice.
Has that great voice way up here. Yeah. So you've got there's a lot of because I do mostly the deeper voices. So I love Peter Cullen. Peter Cullen was Venger on Dungeons and Dragons. He was not Optimus Prime, the other one in the Transformers. The bad Transformer on the Autobots. I can't remember.
I see that. It was Megatron. It was Frank Welker.
Frank Welker. Yeah, Frank Welker is the. He is other than Mel Blanc, who did all of the Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny, and all that stuff back in the day, and George Jetson and literally 1,000 other characters. Yeah. Frank Welker is the guy, or has been the guy. He was the original Fred in Scooby-Doo. He still does a ton of stuff.
He look at it. Okay, he was Fred. He went from Fred Jones to Dr. Claw, whatever, from Inspector Gadgets.
Yep.
And he came back to Scooby-Doo when they did that really super bad Velma show that got me sick when I was watching it. He voiced Fred's dad.
Frank also is the guy they go when they need strange noises. So if you were to look at IMDb credits, and if you were to, there's some sort of thing where they total up all of the box office movies that you've been in. If you look at that alone, Frank Welker is the #1 movie guy in the world, just from the movies that he's been in. So he had in Star Trek 3, Spock is going through all these changes as he's aging, and there's a scream. Frank Welker does the scream. If they need, he'd get interviews if someone would say, well, we need this, the sound of an octopus sneezing. And he'd say, well, old, young, male, female, and they named something. Boom. Okay, here it is, and he coming out. I mean, he would. If you can find behind the scenes things of him, it's great. Like he did some Lions roars, and he had these huge garbage cans, the old steel ones, and he'd be screaming into these things, making it echo and bellow, and it'd make these huge lions roars. It's just fun.
Well, Peter Cullen got some award or something here recently, or whatever.
Yes,
and it was Frank. There's this great video of some conference convention. They're being interviewed, and some guy comes up impersonating Starscream. He's like, "Why haven't you killed him, Megatron? Why?" And he goes right to the voice. "Oh, I haven't seen you in years. And this is why."
Yeah, they're just terrific to watch. I mean, look, I'm a voice guy, so I think those guys are absolutely phenomenal, and it just amazes me. And Cullen just has that, it's the deep can really get down here, and it just fills a room with his voice. It's just amazing to listen to. But anyway, I'm fanboying now. So.
But look who else they had in that show. I mean, Scatman Crothers.
Yeah, he did a bunch of stuff back in the 70s and 80s. You couldn't make Hong Kong Phooey anymore. They wouldn't let you do that.
And the fact is that if you watch the '86 animated movie, that was one of him and Orson Welles' last projects.
Really?
They died. Both of them died before that cartoon was released in the theater.
I didn't know that.
In fact, they said that with Orson Welles, his voice was so he was sick, he was already dying, that they had to use audio tricks. So when you hear this loud booming voice, but like, "Oh, I'm Unicron," it's because they had to do all these 80s audio tricks to get that strength.
There's amazing stories. Mel Blanc, when he was in a horrible car accident, and this was in the 50s, I think, or maybe in the 60s. But it was in a horrible car accident. Was in the hospital and was in a coma, and they didn't know if he was going to survive or not. They got him out of the coma because somebody said, "Hey, Bugs, how are you doing?" Because he was the voice of Bugs Bunny. And, he was like, "What's up, Doc?" And he woke up saying that. And then he was still in the hospital for months. He did like all of the Jetsons because he was Mr. Spacely and a bunch of other things. He did that from the hospital bed. They brought all the microphones and the setups for him so that he could do that in there. And but he's Jetson, and he still could do all that even from his hospital bed. So just there's amazing stories behind those microphones.
I got to meet the guy. He used to voice Goofy. I don't know if he does it anymore. And that yelp that Goofy does?
Yeah.
He was telling me one time he got the sound engineer mad. He did that, and he goes, he didn't warn him. So the engineer was like, "God damn it, warn me next time."
I feel bad for the engineers. Like when I'm doing audiobooks and stuff like that, I do give them warnings, because if there are parts where I have to scream or do other things, or what I've done some video games or whatever, it's just yes, you otherwise you make people's ears bleed. And but yes, and if you are ever in the booth, don't touch anything. Let them do everything. Let them hand you the stuff, and don't touch anything. It's set up for that. So
yeah, I got to do some screaming in Axe Grinder, so it was fun.
There you go. That's always good.
You said, "Hey, Echo, do you want to see the clip? I can have Echo bring it up, and I can screen share it if you want to see it."
Absolutely.
So, Echo, go ahead and bring that up. I'll bring it up there.
Let me find that again, because like I said, last night they were like, I'm telling about, like, "Oh, let's watch this. You want me to send you it?" Let's see. Too many chats, damn it.
Too many chats. Get out of the chats. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, they seem to have enjoyed it.
Oh, that's great. Never think you could be too over the top in any of those things either. Just give it your all. Let them tell you, "Hey, you know what? We need to tone it down a little bit from there." So
yeah. Send it to you on Instagram.
Oh, you sent it to me?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, let me see if I can just bring it up here through. I don't want to leave studio.
No, you just click on the you open up in another tab, and then you.
Yeah, let me go ahead and new tab.
And hello, Hobbs Horror.
The Hobbs
He is
Anita.
one of our. There we are. We've got. He's one of our now 6,342 people watching. So very, very good.
Nice.
It is. So, but I know YouTube messes with these. They're only going to show you like 10 viewers at the end of this because they don't pay you. That's all. But we know the truth. We know the truth.
What's weird though, it really is weird. Like I've had like people before, and it like takes forever to count, or I don't know. It's like they screw us horror podcasters and YouTubers and stuff. It's weird.
Conspiracy, that's what it is.
Like I don't understand how they do things. It's weird. Let's see here. X Grounder 7.
They had a glitch one night on YouTube where they were giving people ridiculous numbers. You go and all of a sudden you're seeing like I got over 100 people watching me, but 2 or 3 people talking. Like, and your lights are down. And then the next within 24 hours, like they fixed it. But it's like, oh, that would have been nice if that number was real.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I know. I watch some guys, who have tons of followers, and they get 5,000 to 10,000 people on a stream easy. But they'll say, look, just everybody in chat, show me what your viewer count is, and everybody shows something ridiculously different. And he says, yeah, they routinely cut a couple of thousand people from the stream when they pay him. They don't give him credit for everything. So
they even do that with regular videos. You're like, oh, I got like 10 people watching, or 20 people watching it, and then next thing you know, within so long, it's gone from 10 views, 20 views, to 5 or 7 views.
Yeah. Hey, where was the sorry to interrupt. Where's the screen share and StreamYard here?
Where it says down at the bottom, present next to settings.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah. All right. Let's try to remember there.
And make sure you don't have autoplay on. Because that autoplay can get you in trouble when it gets done. If it starts automatically playing another video with copyrighted stuff in it, then it can get you in trouble.
Yeah, you don't want to get a strike for doing something accidentally.
Hey, I remember. Hey, I got a DMCA strike once, and to get out of it, because it was my first time, I had to watch a cartoon and take a test and stay out of trouble.
Can you see it too? Or
yeah, we're looking at it.
Okay. No, I don't want to fess.
So, that dead body.
You look good with a beard.
Yeah.
You know the whole story? No. That's Freddie Palmer. He's a freaking serial killer.
No way.
Yeah, he was a little different from all the other boys growing up. You see, a gang of psychos in clown masks murdered his entire family.
That's beyond messed up.
Well, that's not where the story ends. You see, when they were murdering his family, they finished. They handed him an axe. They demanded that he start killing too.
This place, they really are a mess, these scientists.
I know that guy.
What's in here? No fucking way. Is this what I think it is? This looks like the legend Freddie Palmer, the axe killer. Oh, Freddie Palmer, the axe rider. No bitches, I'm the ass grinder. Take it. Oh, this is great. And he heard me making fun of him.
I guess he doesn't like the ass grinder.
He's right behind me.
What the hell? This costume looks better than mine. What? Is that a real axe? Oh my god!
All right, action.
And then I'll stop it right there before anything comes up.
That's great. Uh-oh. We lost him.
Like he clicked on the wrong thing. But that
Steven,
line,
come
like,
back. It
that
was
line.
good. You didn't have to run away. Trust us.
What do you click
That
on,
was great,
Steven?
though.
Little parkour there, jumping over the table.
Yeah, that's it. Didn't even need a stunt guy. He did all his own stunts.
But that
That's
scene with the
terrific.
axe, this
And I killed myself, literally.
That was great, Steven. That was terrific.
I was like, when I X out of it, I didn't want to X out of that. It X me out of both. But anyway, yep, it was fun.
I didn't even know you were Jewish with the whole circumcision thing going on there. But good for you.
Yeah.
So of course now you're gonna live that. Once that comes out, you're not gonna live that whole ass grinder thing down.
No. That
all you have to say is you know why he had to use such a big axe? Well,
yeah, it wasn't big enough.
There you go. That's it.
Oh,
ladies, he's single. Come on.
Out of the 6,100, come on now, got to be at least one in there.
Got to be at least one out there for you.
That's funny. So yeah, it should be out this summer. Though. So yep. And then Julie.
No offense to the other actors in that, but you were the best one out of the three. So that's out of the four, including the killer there. So, very good for you though. That was terrific. How many takes did that take to do?
Well, we did a few, but I probably jumped over that table 3 or 4 times. So there was actually a better jump. That one, it almost looked like I pushed a little bit when I went off, but there was a time I dove right over that. But that I guess that's the one he decided to use. So. But it makes it corny, oh gosh, he's being stupid. He can't even jump over a table. So that's probably why I used that one. So
yeah, the attempted parkour, bad parkour, and bad dancing from the ass grinder.
Making fun of the killer.
I have to ask though, are you still picking fake blood out of your inner thighs and crotch area, or
Well, I did go to the. I did go to the airport bloody from my last scene. I had blood. I go, I should scream 911. No, but people were looking at me. I'm like, I just got off 2 horror movies. It's fake. Don't worry.
Yeah, he messaged me about that, talking about being bloody. What? And all of a sudden I get this picture. And he just shows me it's just drenched.
It was my time of the month.
I definitely had to get some looks of people just walking by being like, okay.
I had to deal with that. I did an on-screen movie, well, goodness, way back called Bullseye, which I was a 30s detective, and so I had big blood pack right in the chest here, and I was in the middle of a shed, and it was hot under the lights and stuff, and so it was all corn syrup and all of these sweet things, and I have a lot of chest hair, it's because it all migrated down from here, and so it just was disgusting in everything, and I had all of these bugs crawling to get at all of the sweet sugary stuff as I'm laying there on the ground trying to do all this, and they're in my ears, and I'm as they're trying to get out of the amber that's forming on my chest, but it's in my head. But it was fake blood can be a nasty thing to have to deal with.
It's the amber, huh? Dino DNA.
I guess the old Hammer films had some of the worst fake blood. If you ever watch those old films from the 50s and 60s, it looked like red paint.
Well, yeah, it's yes, it has come a long way at how they do things. The practical effects still rule the day in my opinion on all this thing. If you've got somebody who can do good practical effects like they do in Carousel, all of those things are practical effects, and so there's nothing better than all of that type of stuff. And it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's a lot of fun to do until you have to take an hour-long shower to get all this crap off of you.
What gets me is you'll see them, they'll do the CGI blood when they'll shoot somebody, you see the CGI blood, and then you see them on the ground, and it's there's no holes in the clothes, there's no blood. Even just a little snip here, a little red fake blood here, takes 2 seconds probably, but instead they're just gonna lie there and
But that's also somebody who doesn't care as much about the craft and isn't really thinking through things. And so if it's just, we just want to get the blood spatter on screen and we don't care about how it's affecting the story, that that's why you get some of those things. But other times it's just people make mistakes and stuff. But yeah, I thought, Stephen, you were terrific in it. So
Thank you. Yes,
hats off to you.
thank you. Appreciate it. So it should be. I think it's going to be a good one. Comes out this summer. So
Very good. Very
Amazon, all that. So
Absolutely.
Sterling Entertainment, of course, same as Camp Blood 9. So, but
Now, have you, in all seriousness, have you gone to some of the conventions that, as part of any of these films, or just?
not yet, but I was. I gotta check back with her again. I might try to get a table with Mel Heflin, and once, because by October, Camp Blood will be out. Hopefully, the stocking should be out. Amityville Turkey Day is also supposed to come out next month, so Camp Blood 9 and Turkey Day will come out.
That was when, because that was supposed to come out right after Thanksgiving, because I remember that was going to be my big Thanksgiving review, was going to be that movie, and then it didn't come out. Like, I had all these plans, I was just going to review it, and then it's like, oh, what the hell?
Yep. So next month it should be out. So it would have been perfect for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Your tagline on your resume should be "I will die for you."
Literally, I'll die for you.
I'll die for you.
He could be the independent equivalent of what's that one guy, Sean Bean?
Yeah. He gets killed in a lot of stuff. His Game of Thrones tenure didn't last too long, but oh, that's good. Look, everybody needs a hobby, so that's it. If you can get killed over and over and over again, there you go. That's it.
I guess just kill me, whatever. I don't care. As long as I got an interesting part prior to it, I'm good. I got to have a little fun with it. So, but like I said, probably by October I might get like a vendor's table, and I'll see if I can get like some stocking copies. And I got a picture I want to print out. I'll probably just print out like about maybe 30 at first just to see how they sell. But the picture where Mariah's standing behind me and I got my brain ripped out or like on top, so I think that's a good picture, so I'll get that one made. So
that's good. Absolutely. And you know what, if it's look, I have I have my ego wall that I call it, and I any film where I'm where they've made a poster and I'm in the credits listed on the poster, that sucker goes right up on the wall. So, and I did the same thing, with some audiobooks that I did, where I created posters off of the covers of them, like Brain Eater Jones and a couple of others, just because, it's pretty cool to be able to look at that. So there I am, I'm right there. So
why not?
I've even think I played some of the games he did voices for, Red Dead Redemption, Mafia 3, which I have to make a confession. Mafia 3, no, I do not like feeding people to the alligators for fun. I love feeding them to the alligators for fun.
I have to make a confession about Mafia 3. If you held a gun to my head right now, I could not tell you what part I was in that. I don't remember doing it, because when you get hired for a video game, it's usually a couple of years in advance, and they give you a code name for it. So, and typically you do your part, you go away, and you really don't know where everything ends up, because video games take so long to produce.
Oh yeah.
And so I just all of a sudden one day saw on my IMDb that I was in Mafia 3. I'm like, okay, I have no idea what part I played or anything, but your favorite character, that was me. So that's
find somebody who could walk around in the game and listen to all the random chat. My favorite ever background line in a game ever comes from GTA San Andreas. You're walking around, you hear someone go, "Steroids do what to your dick?" And every time I have to put the control down and lose it.
That's funny. That's very funny. Yeah, the video games are a weird racket to get into, because
I've heard the scripts. I've heard the scripts are quite large.
Because you have all the different cutscenes. You have, you went left, you went right, you picked up this weapon, you did that, or even if you're just somebody who's dying, it's you can die in 100 different ways. So, okay, well, we need you to scream like your left leg was cut off. Ah! We need you to scream like your right arm was cut off. Ah! And you have to differentiate in some way, shape, or form all of these different things that are happening to you, and that can take a toll on your voice when you have to scream for a few hours, and you need to make sure that that you're handling things right. Red Dead Redemption, I was some background characters. I think my house got blown up with dynamite from the main character and a few other things and stuff like that. But
I feel sorry for those people that did Dragon Ball, because the joke is all it is all they all had to walk out afterwards. Get home. How you doing, honey?
That's it. You need to be careful too, because if that's your business, all of a sudden, you lose your voice for a week. You're not working, so you have to be careful. I've done a couple of dubbings from some Italian cartoons actually that got shown here and did them into English. And this stuff, when you start in this business, you don't realize things. So it's like, okay, well, you're running. Well, how do you run with your voice? You're running into battle. So is it, so you're like, no, but that could be anything. So running with your voice is, you're making your steps as you're going along. And so you have to think about all of those things, or hopefully the director will tell you what it is that you need to do on that stuff. But it's the dubbing stuff gets interesting, because you want to have your speech end when the lips stop moving. And so depending upon the language, that can be tough, and you need to tweak the scripts a little bit to try to fit that, because if you're in the bad dub of a Chinese movie, it's all about, well, you killed my brother and now I kill you kind of thing. So you have to just be careful about
it. I call like some of these voices, when they do some of these voices, they do like anime voices. I feel it's like some of these, they like, here's this movie from Italy or Japan, and they do a voice. It's like, that's an anime voice. I watched one from Italy. I can't remember what the movie was. You had the sniper and the spotter. So you hear the sniper. Okay, where's the target? Then you hear the spotter. Okay, it's right over there. Are those two different characters, or is it the same guy voicing two characters in the same voice?
Yes, it's you need to watch for those type of things. Yes, you need to watch for them.
You know what I found out, what I didn't realize, and I saw him when he was talking to, I think he was talking to Jimmy Fallon, Howie Mandel. He does Gizmo, but his same voice is Gizmo, Bobby from Bobby's World, and one of the Muppet Babies. He's like, it's the same voice. It's like three different characters.
Yes, it's you put different spins on things to try to do things. Like if you're talking about Duke, where everything is just right here. I mean, it's basically my voice, but with a little bit more gravelly stuff. Now, I've done other characters, for radio plays and things like that, where, I did a one that was all Sherlock Holmes, and I was Officer Weathers, who was, helping it. And Officer Weathers was also very much right here, and that kind of noir, kind of, it's a cold, dark, rainy night, and that's so I do a lot of voices right here. But how you change them, how you pitch them, where you put inflections and different things, then you can take the same voice and tweak it a bit, and so it sounds like a completely different character. But yeah, if you go in at the same, then that's a tough thing. I did an audio book which was all about a world full of clones. And so I had about 40 different characters that are all supposed to be the same guy. They're all clones of the same guy. So how do you differentiate the voices so people know who's talking? So you have to keep the same thing, but one guy maybe speaks a little bit faster, one guy maybe speaks a little bit slower, somebody's a little bit louder, somebody's a little bit softer, and you put different types of spins on it so that people can follow along and understand what's happening with the characters. And that, my friends, is what acting is all about.
Yeah, like Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, we're on the voice of Joker, but if you listen to some of the characters, the other characters he voices, you can hear sometimes that same voice.
Yes,
he did. Well, he did a special short for DC. He voiced all the characters, and he voices himself. He gets kidnapped by the Joker and the prankster, whatever, the trickster, the character he did in Flash, and basically it's him sitting in the back of the car, pranking the two of them to get them to fight, doing the voices, and they're like, "Stop! No, I didn't say that."
That's funny. If you who in Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane, they did a joke in one of them where they had what's her name's father, the rich guy,
and the doctor were together.
And the doctor
for the
well, I guess there's only so many voices that are out there, and it's because you know there are only so many things that you can do. If you've got help with things, where if an author gives you some clues as to what it is, this is he's a Russian guy, so he speaks down here, or he's an old Jewish guy, so you can put different things and different accents on stuff, but you need to pay attention to those things. But yes, there are only so many voices that folks can do, unless you're Mel Blanc, and then you can do everything. So
yeah, then there's 1,000 of them. Whatever, you can just change.
Isn't there a document? Did they make a documentary on him about the Man of 1,000 Voices or something?
Yes, they did, and there are a couple of good documentaries out there. That what's his name, Billy. Oh God, I'm gonna kick myself because I can't remember his name. Did Bender and a whole bunch of different voices. Another one he put out, I think it was him who put out a video on all of these voice actors, and they showed you how they prepare, how they do things, and the popular characters that they do, and how they put all of this stuff in there. But it depends on what kind of spin you're going to put on. I worked with a guy once who did these kind of rich and famous voiceovers from some reality shows and stuff. And so I was talking to him about a voice. He's like, yeah, no, it's my voice, but when I'm being a dick. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, no, because that's the character of the show. Well, here you've got these rich people who are doing this that you don't have. That and so he's like, yeah, just that was the whole thing. They just said, well, just be a dick. And I'm like, okay, well, I could do that. That's how the guy did the voice. So, so you never know where the influence is going to come from on all of that. But yeah. So if you need a high voice, get an axe to the balls, and then you'll be able to.
I think Peter Collins, for the Prime voice, he said something about his brother. He talks about his brother, like maybe that's how he, seems like that's how he got the inspiration for Prime's voice when he talks about his brother.
I didn't know that. That's great, though. But
even when he got that award, he talked about his brother, and he started we can hear him kind of slipping in to that voice. So to me, I always felt like maybe that's almost like him saying that's the inspiration, because I guess his brother was a soldier or something.
So. Well, you pull it from somewhere, and that's but yeah, you have to. I mean, I know a lot of people that, again, unless they're giving you very specific instructions, make this person sound like this. You usually have some freedom, and for me, and I know a lot of voice actors, it's if you get a picture, especially if you're talking a cartoon or something like that, you get a picture of what the character is. I usually hear a voice in my head right away, so I'll give them that, and then it's it's a question of what you do with it. So I mean, if you look at Steven right now, he's got the skeleton over his right shoulder, so you could do that. He could just be a really crazy skeleton a little bit, and he could just be a really comedic one, or he could go kind of all Joe Biden on him, and you look really pretty right now, Steven. Would you like to jump my balls?
And that's the point where I faded.
So it's so those it depends on what kind of stuff that you want to put on it, but you could do a lot of fun stuff with that, and that's all part of the craft, is having fun with it. Like, for instance, Steven could have jumped over the table a different way and put a whole different spin on the scene, but he's a professional, so he gave them exactly what they were looking for.
Hey, did they at least give you some padding on that side?
No, I just jump on the cement, to the guy big
old. Ouch.
No, there's a little black pad. It was funny because it was asked, is like, you think you jump? I'm like, he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I just boomed over. He's like, okay, let's do the scene. So
that's good. Look, if you can literally roll with the punches on some of those things, that's terrific. Don't do anything to get yourself really hurt, but at the same time, just again, as long as you're having fun with it, that's really what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the mat's right there. I can roll onto the mat. I mean,
just don't be one of those. Just don't be one of those method actors like, I need to have a cut in my hand. Let me get a knife out here.
It wouldn't be his hand we'd be worried about at that point. So that's it. And then Steven would be speaking up here. So
I'm not going to method act it when it comes to that scene.
So,
we were talking about the guy that voice Bender. He did a video game back in the 90s called Vampire the Masquerade. I think it's called Bloodlines.
Yeah, Bloodlines.
The audio would be great, but there was a problem when they recorded the audio. I swear, if you listen to it, it sounds like they're in a tunnel. The entire audio, every time someone's talking, it's like they're in a tunnel or something, and you just hear that. It's like, oh God.
That's tough. That's tough. There are some times I've been in productions, even on the audiobook side and with some other stuff where, if people are recording at home, you don't have the same exact setup. So the sound quality is slightly different, or the background noise. Now, if you have the right engineers, you can put all of that stuff together and make it sound like everybody's in the same room. But if you don't have the budget or you don't have the talent to do that on the project, then yes, it's well, I'm speaking down here. Someone else is speaking like here, and someone else is way far back, because it's just the way that things were recorded. Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, gentlemen, though, I've got to stop here at 9 p.m. So but I have had a great time being back with you guys, and again, I appreciate that, and we've hit 9,000, so I appreciate that. For all of you that are out there, thank you very much. Echo, it was a pleasure meeting you. So.
Hey, the last time I talked to anybody who did voice work, it was the guy who did Goofy. It's really cool to talk to someone who does that, because it gets insightful. So I always wondered about how you guys do it, so it's pretty cool.
We're a wonderful breed, we are. Yes, we are. So, but it's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of. But again, I have done a couple of serious voiceover roles with some books and stuff, and it's I'm okay with them. I've done some nonfiction stuff. I'm okay with them depending upon the subject matter. I've done medical narrations where everything is very dry, and you're going to be titriding up for on Giomyothirathorazine, and that's it. But you know what?
You have to fall asleep to at night, right?
It's what the doctors have to listen to from the drug companies, and so it's all about statistics, and talking through numbers and stuff is not the most fun thing to do, but they pay well. But yeah, it's I like having fun, so I like smiling. I like so the comedic stuff I have a good time with, and that's what I try to stick to. And that's what I gravitate towards. So it's all good. But you guys keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing a great job. And keep it going. You're up to how many shows now, Stephen?
150. No, wait. I lost track.
Not many.
106. 58. 58. No, it's right above me. Episode 158. There we go.
That's an axe to the crotch will do that to you. It may make it.
It goes straight to the brain. The pain goes to the brain, and it just goes out. And I did get my brain ripped out in Camp Blood 9, so my brain, my balls, it's all anything that starts.
What men think.
That will be next.
So that's what happens. So it's all good. But anyway, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'd be happy to be on again, and for the occasion, I wore my Baby Yoda Hawaiian shirt here.
There we go.
So yes. So and the dogs are letting me know it's 9 o'clock, and
they're like, it's time, get off.
So they are demanding service. So gentlemen, you keep the party going, right. And again, if you ever need me, I'm here. So all right, keep up the good work, guys.
Right. Yeah. We'll see you again.
Have a good night and weekend.
Be well. Take care. Bye
bye.
Rusty man, Steve Skull.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think.
Yeah. Well, you take care, because I got to go to the bathroom and go get something to eat.
Yeah, and I'm going to get ready, head to bed, catch the bus tomorrow. So, all right. See you next week. Have a good one. Bye.